This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started.
How do three paladins of separate gods?
But if you ask me what my calling would be, I'd say that of a defender of my friends. I would give my life to see them through.
I could have, but I didn't. And every day has been beautiful since.
I think I'm surrounded by good things.
A cleric on a hunt for redemption.
I need it for my friends, family, these people that I love, who have always been the answers to my prayers.
Whatever the hell you are.
I don't know if deserving has anything to do with anything.
A storyteller.
And if you ever need me ever again, let me know.
And one I haven't figured out yet.
I think that would take me a while to find someone more knowledgeable than me.
All come together. And there's not a bit of fate in that?
I think you mispronounced friends.
Well, I will drink to that.
When you see God's rest surrounded by armies, then know that his desolation has come near. Take these wings to Nymunet. Carry them home.
Doing like the weird naked Sims thing? That's
No.
creepy.
No, I was trying to redecorate a house so I can move this family so there's actually going to be room for them.
Well, you ready to jump in?
Sure.
Okay. Chapter 41, Walk in the Light. Previously, as the Scales reach the final leg of their pilgrimage, they find Melly kidnapped by the Blackpaw bugbears. Rushing to her aid, they assault the ruined fortress, destroying the Blackpaws and what was left of the outpost. But it came at a heavy price. With Kalvyn dead, the Scales worked on what to do next. Checking with Orizana to find no priest capable of asking the Divines for aid, deciding instead to continue on to Ezekiel's old stomping grounds, the Moonlight Grove. Here you spoke with the dead essence of Kalvyn, searching for hope, a sign, and in the relative peace and safety of the grove the Scales rested before traveling with the Mother Willow through the trees themselves to the old growth surrounding Nymunet. You finally made your pilgrimage to the Holy City, though under mournful circumstances. Through the gates and towards the lustrous citadel where you found the radiant Solarium of light, the massive tower beacon dedicated to Valisol the Sunmaker. Carrying the body of Kalvyn, eyes covered with copper coins, you placed him upon the altar with the sunlight streaming down from the glass dome above. Offering the bloom heart of red orchid, the high priestess, soul beacon Valora, rose this to the Solars and to the Sunmaker as you awaited the outcome of the ritual. Amson told a story of friendship, Ellory of hope, Melly of love. As the offerings of orchids bloomed into spheres of light, taken up to the sun, you waited. Soon an answer in the form of blinding light descended like a radiant spear into the ground. The solarium filled with golden radiance centered upon the fallen Kalvyn, the light being drawn into his wounds. We come back to the story here. As the light is drawn into Kalvyn, there is a moment of hushed suspense before Kalvyn's eyes open wide, no longer green but gilded like the sun above. What do you do?
I hug him.
I think we all do. Now that he's alive
at the end
again.
of Lord of the Rings where all the hobbits are jumping on the bed.
It's
we just
literally
we've gotten him back and now we suffocate him.
Mm-hmm.
Kalvyn, how do you feel?
Good question. How do I feel, Mr. Lord above?
Well, Kalvyn, you're at 1 hit point and are feeling pretty rough. You do have that -4, looking it up now. -4 to basically everything, attacks, checks, saves, but decreases by 1 each day. Though your leg that was cracked to the side where your knee was wrecked has now been straightened. There are scars that have been cauterized by the radiant light. You're sore and wounded, but you're alive.
I feel like one giant bruise, and everywhere you touch, it hurts so bad.
sorry.
Sorry.
Maybe we should be careful about the hugs. I'm glad you're back.
Y'all are.
I'm not so sure I made the right choice. It hurts so bad. It didn't hurt like this.
I will reach out and just give him lay on hands and healing hands, so he's got 18 more hit points. Just maybe some of the wounds will feel less bad.
Ezekiel, your touch is like soothing aloe on your sunburn.
I have been told that before. I'm glad you're back, Kalvyn.
It's good to be alive, I guess.
Well, other than the extreme pain your body is in, are you okay? I've never been to the other side, so I don't really know what you might have been through.
Listen, I'm actually kind of conflicted right now. If I could get back to you on that, I guess. I don't know. I need to think. I think I need to think about it for a little bit, and then I'll be able to. I think I need to. We'll have to have a talk, maybe a group meeting. But right now, I kind of.
It's hard.
It would be nice to rest.
It's not always easy to talk about things, especially right off the bat.
And this isn't an easy transition to come back from.
But we're here, whatever you need from us.
I appreciate it. I think I would be amiss if I didn't say you've already done so much.
Well, I don't know about that, but whatever we can do, it's worth it for you.
Gosh.
Well, perhaps we should see about finding some kind of lodgings, place to get Kalvyn so he can rest up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. By the way, Kalvyn, we're in Nymunet.
Oh, wow, you guys made it. I guess we'll have to do some talking after all. I'll have to hear all about your travels and everything.
You didn't miss much.
Really only, a day or two? We got a bit of I don't know, a ride here? Got us here pretty quickly.
Well, it's good to have you back, Kalvyn.
Yeah. It's good to be back. Where are we? Right. He starts looking around, I guess, and is probably maybe even seeing some not bronze scale folk.
Yeah,
like,
Kalvyn.
Hey, we're just kind of standing here, let you guys get your shit out.
As you do look around, you realize you're in a massive temple. Sandstone walls with reliefs carved into them, some of them painted. You see massive columns, and as you look directly up, you see it raises over 100 feet straight into the air, where you see it looks like a sun burning, and beyond that a stained glass dome of gold and orange. You can see standing around others beyond the bronze scales. Several of them, most of them, or all of them actually wearing sun mantle capes with the symbols of the sun emblazoned upon their capes or their shoulders or their armor. Most of them standing back and giving you your space. The one is standing closer. A female with dark hair and a widow's peak, tan skin, light hazel eyes. As the bronze, you know her as the soul beacon who performed the ritual. She's standing a little closer than the others, but still allowing space. But as Kalvyn asks this question, looks around, she speaks. You're in the Solarium, in the holy city of Nymunet. If you need rest, we have accommodations for you.
Oh, well, I would appreciate that. I don't know if everybody would like to stay here, or if they would be more inclined to some more
I don't have
comforts.
Room for everyone, though.
Oh.
A walk with the light is always welcome.
I might try my hand at the Temple of Nymunet, or Temple of Aiain. It's been a long day. That's where I'm meant to be here anyways, so.
She nods to you and then takes a step towards Kalvyn. When you're healed up, come back here and ask for me.
Of course, actually, I do. I think there are things I need to talk out with probably multiple folk at the temple. I don't know who all. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And you are? Kalvyn, was it?
Yes, I am. He tries to straighten up. It doesn't go very well. He's like, I'm Kalvyn, son of Klein. I'm from Embershore. These are my friends. We're the Bronze Scales. We're a group of friends out doing friendly things.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Kalvyn. I'm Soul Beacon Valora from the Throne Lands. When you come back here, find me. If for some reason you can't, ask for Nymunet Ratira. And she looks over and kind of nods towards, you see a half-orc there, standing in dark iron plate with red dyed hair pulled back with the temples shaven, who has her arms kind of folded to the side as she's leaned up against the nearby column.
I think at this point, Kalvyn will try to actually start leaning on his friends to stand up.
Yes, yeah. I will do that. I'll look for either of you, whoever I can find.
Good. Walk in the light.
I think he would. Like an immediate response would like reaction. Somebody says "hey" and you're like "hey" back. He would have that almost response like he would have something there, but with recent events and thoughts in his mind, it gets caught in his throat. He kind of stumbles and then looks off without really saying anything.
As you help Kalvyn to his feet and kind of nod and your farewells and thanks, do you guys leave, or do you guys do what are you guys doing as you help Kalvyn to your feet? And some of the other beacons and luminants kind of disperse. The Soul Beacon goes back to work, leaving this section.
I'd like to go to the Temple of Aeon, if that's all right. If you want to get Kalvyn somewhere to rest first, that's fine, but I really want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hold anybody up from, this is super important. I just...
You're not holding us up, Kalvyn. I want to make sure you're okay.
You should still have our horses. Would it be easier for you to ride?
Were we able to bring the horses with us?
We couldn't bring the cart, but I thought we could bring the horses. Or did we leave them there? I'm fine if we left them there. That makes more sense.
I assumed y'all left them too. I'm not sure. I guess you could have. I didn't think about it.
Never mind. They're better off there. We'll get them killed.
Yeah, I don't think any of us thought about it. We're like, oh, yeah.
After the Soul Beacon leaves and a few of the other Luminants disperse, there is one who remains behind. You see a human, maybe his early 50s, human, stark white hair, male with silver clouded eyes, shorter than the rest of them, maybe 5'8", 5'9", pretty thin frame. And he wears pretty light steel chain. You see he has a bow on his back, as well as the cape, the sun mantle cape, who kind of stands nearby. If you need directions, I can point you in the right direction.
That might be a good idea. I've never been here before.
This way. And this individual leads you out of this main chamber and eventually out of the Solarium through the courtyard and towards the edge of this massive tower beacon where he stops. Nymunet is an old city, fairly spread out. It was not originally meant for mortals. The outer growth is where the followers of Asintma live outside the walls. It is warm forest, crops, herbs. On your way in, you likely pass the shanty town of the Pale Row. Lower class and poorer pilgrims, simple folk, stay there. You probably walk through the halls of Valor, where the followers of Wolfrath fortify and defend the city. To the southeast, outside the walls, is Fate's Slumber, a graveyard. And northwest of here, north of here, there's a hill upon which you'll see a simple white stone temple. That is the hospitals and healers of Redemption Seed. This is the Temple of Aeon. To the west, Fortune's Path, you'll notice the strange pyramidal architecture of Rasabrab. And central, you'll see the Word of Truth with Severa. It's sort of glyphed and walled off, scholarly tower. You're in the Luster Citadel now, on the west side of the city. And to the north is the Scaled Precipice, where the Dragonkin and Dragon Worshippers of Akishon.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but you're not far from the Redemption of Zenith, just north of here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you, Kalvyn, when you return, come find one of us. And he kind of steps a little closer. Do you have a glory and virtue already?
Yes. Man, I don't have anything. Notes. But interject, Kalvyn will explain that he's already been to a temple, talked to a dude who has jazzed him up.
All right. Well, that is good. When you return here, find the Solar's chamber. Or ask for it. You'll find one of us there. It is within the Solarium.
He'll nod.
Good. Is there anything else I can point you towards?
Kalvyn will look at his company, and at their blank faces will just kind of shake his head. No, you, no, all right, no, I think that's it.
I was having a little bit of trouble following the whole thing. Did he mention Voltimary?
I don't think
No.
Maybe I skipped over that. But he should have. No, he didn't mention it, but you could ask about it.
I will definitely ask about it.
The respite. For the Wanderer's respite is where you'll find Voltimary, lightning spiders.
I think we passed through there on the way in.
Wandering clouds.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the place. Well, welcome to Nymunet. And you walk in the light, as he says this to Kalvyn. And for nodding and striding back into the Solarium.
You could go there first, Celery, if you wanted to go to the respite. I don't mind saying everything else first.
Well, I mean, we did come here for you.
It's my final destination, so I can hold off.
I mean, we got here kind of suddenly. I think I might want a little bit of time to think about... Well, I've had a lot of time to think. I don't think I've come up with anything in terms of answers yet, but I think first things first, we want to get Kalvyn somewhere he can rest.
Yeah, with each step, Kalvyn is groaning and moaning, and he's like a kid with a tummy ache that just like, no, I'm okay. Oh.
Would you like me to carry you?
I don't think he says anything. He's just like, oh.
I think Amson will start asking around for a nice inn relatively nearby.
Yeah, Amson asking around. Eventually, you pull one wanderer aside as they're carrying, looks like ingots. Yeah, there's the Soot bunkhouse is probably the closest place. It's over that way, just around that forge. You see that smoke column coming up? And he's pointing towards a big pillar of black smoke coming from some forge. Head towards that, you'll see it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's start going in that direction.
We can check it out.
Okay.
And if we don't like the place, we can find another, and I'm sure. I think we're going to be here for a while, right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So y'all wander that direction with Kalvyn limping and you helping him along. Moving through along the way, you see numerous forges making armor, weapons. You also see people carving statues. You see murals being painted on these ancient, massive walls with bricks that stretch maybe 20 feet by 10 feet in size. That have somehow been placed brick by brick to create this place. Eventually, you move towards a sort of central ring, a circle of a number of forges. The top center one is very large and lets out the massive pillar of smoke. Moving beyond it, as he instructed, you see a 2-story long building made of old red brick of different architecture, definitely newer than some of the older structures around here. And on it, you see a sign that says the Soot Hole Bunkhouse.
Did you say Soot Hole Bunkhouse?
What did I say before? Yeah, so
Alright. I think this is the place, everyone. Let's check it out.
As you guys head in, you see the doors to the left enter into a bar and food establishment, where you see a number of people wearing very simple clothes, their faces grimy and covered in clearly workers who work the forges around here, either getting a snack, getting a beer in between their shifts.
I'll go up to who appears to be the proprietor.
You see a man fairly tall, balding, with a thick white mustache behind the counter, wiping off a pewter mug with a kind of a beer belly. Kind of looks up as you walk up. Right, what can I do for you?
Hello, good sir. We are looking for some temporary lodging.
Yeah, we got that here.
Alright. Count everybody up. So that'd be 1, 2, 3,
7.
4, 5, 6, 7.
There's 7 of us.
7.
But Ball was also very big.
Ball counts as like 2.5 people, so.
Right, for that one, I'd say for gold, and you'll get your bunks.
Sure.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be staying in this district.
Oh, that's fine. I imagine that this is just some place where we can sit down and rest for a little bit while we find more permanent, well, not permanent, but you get the long-term lodging. There we go. That's the word.
So 6 rooms? 7?
I glance at Ezekiel. Want to share with me?
It's nothing against you, but I don't think I will be sleeping in this.
Alright, well maybe this isn't a place for you. If you're looking for a highfalutin place, you best head over to Fortune's Path. Find something there. It costs you a lot more, though.
Falutin?
Yeah, falutin.
Well, you have a great day, sir.
Guys, leave the soot-hole bunkhouse as quick as you can. You left.
Well, it was a soot-hole anyways.
It was a sill, but it was cheap as damn dirt, though.
I'm sure it was.
I did specifically.
You get what you pay for.
I did say
A
nice
goal for
place
7
that's
of
kind
them.
of nearby.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't nearly as nice as I thought it would be. My apologies, everyone. Let's find something else. Kalvyn, you doing okay?
I'm still breathing.
Just keep doing that.
All right.
Like, I can give you a lift. I don't mind. Ellory rode me halfway up the country.
Ugh.
Oh.
No, I think I'm okay. I don't think that will really be necessary, but thank you for your kindness.
The man at the temple said the Pale Roll is where the pilgrims usually stay, so I could check there.
Sure, why not? It seems like a good place.
We could head in that direction and then, as we're going along, see if we spot anything along the way.
Sure.
So whoever's... Okay.
Can I, low-key ask Ball and Giant to carry Kalvyn so he stops groaning?
Okay. And Kalvyn Ball scoops you up and carries you.
I'm pretty sure he's still, with every step, it's gonna jostle him, and, I don't see Ball as somebody that's gonna be like, okay, hush, little baby.
I don't know, he carried you all the way here and kept those coins balanced on your eyes, so...
Well, then Kalvyn is making a show of being a dramatic little girl.
So the people are watching because of your eclectic group with a giant and also a half-orc who is moaning and groaning in his arms. As you'll make your way towards the Pale Row, whoever's leading in that charge in that direction, give me an investigation check. And anybody that's looking for a place, you can roll investigation as well.
Natural 20. I want to find us the nicest, swankiest place to stay.
That landed on the side. Okay, there we go. 23. Or not 23, sorry, dirty 20.
So, Amson, you're pretty quickly adjusting to the layout of the city, asking around a bit. heading towards the Pale Road. And as you are cutting through this one section of town, you see, or Vesper, you see someone in very fine clothing. A pair. Two men in luxurious black coats. One has a top hat, and the other one is walking with a cane, but he's not actually limping. It's obviously just for show, and it's gilded on the tip. Who walk into a fairly mundane-looking building labeled Norwood's Teas as they walk in and close the door. You do notice it is distinctly, there's a discrepancy between the way they are dressed and the building they are walking into.
Well, that place had some nice-looking folk walk into it. Should we go and see if it's a place to stay?
Sure, why not?
Okay. And as you're walking towards this, you realize you're in Fortune's Path. A lot of the older buildings, probably the ancient original ones, are either pyramidal or with sloping walls. This one, however, is more newly built. It's made out of brick, though it's more common red brick. This Norwood's Teas. And as you walk up, you do see a wooden sign on the door with a teacup that has the inscription of Norwood's Teas. Stepping inside, you see a fairly simple building with a counter. Looks a lot like a bar. And there is one gentleman behind the bar. You see a half-orc standing there in decent but not swanky clothing.
Hello, good sir.
Hey.
We were looking for some temporary lodging.
Oh, just have teas.
Okay. Is there anywhere that you could suggest that would be a nice place to stay for a little while?
He kind of looks at you guys up and down. I suggest the Pale Row.
Oh, we were just on our way over there. So I imagine that you sell teas. What kind of teas do you have?
He kind of gestures behind him, and there's like 2 jars, and it says black tea and gray tea, and that's it. The other shelves are completely empty. Tea.
I look around. Are the 2 gentlemen I saw walk in? Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm sorry, I caught eye of your establishment when I saw 2 finely dressed gentlemen walk in, but I don't see them here.
Must have been mistaken.
Must have been.
You do realize this is the most transparent thing you could possibly do, right, sir? 2 teas, like try something.
Would you like a tea?
No, I do not think I would, but please, friends, enjoy. I'll roll my eyes and grumble and stumble out.
At least the copper sale has a better selection.
I could go for some tea.
Kalvyn, do you want gray or black tea?
Let's go with, gray or black? Is gray a tea? I'll have that sounds luxurious. Let's try that.
A couple gray tea.
He kind of grunts and takes the jar down, takes a scoop of it, puts it in a device. He pours water that was heating on the fire behind him into it, and then immediately, without waiting, pours it into a teacup.
A strainer?
A device, yes. It's a French press. It's a elvish press is what it is. And he mashes it down immediately without waiting and immediately pours it. And it's kind of, there's a little color to it, but he did it really fast. He didn't let it brew. That's a 2 copper.
I think we might want to give this gentleman his space.
Okay. I paid for it, so.
The worst front I've ever eaten at.
Tea's not great. It is warm water, though, so.
The flavors, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be subtle. Maybe that's what it is, right?
Well, sure, Kalvyn, sure.
So.
Oh, it's still hot.
All right, we'll go. Have a nice afternoon.
Yeah.
I kind of smirk at him as we walk out and say, good luck to your business.
As you go outside, you see a bloodhound pissing on the building.
Maybe dogs aren't so bad after all.
Let's find lodging.
Yep.
Yeah.
Continuing along, you're heading towards the Pale Row. Heading through, you do see in this district, you see a few other more normal-looking inns and taverns. You see one is built into a smaller pyramid, smaller compared to the massive one. There's one that raises up 70 feet into the air. It's maybe 60 by 60 feet. But this one's maybe 30 by 30 feet pyramid with an open doorway with a cloth. You can hear music and sound coming from inside. You can continue past that one if that one can't catch your fancy. Continuing on, you guys move through the Fortune's Path. You briefly pass through you see the Ward of Truth up on a hill where you see a singular tower walled off with gates. You guys will enter into an area where you see wandering storms. Moving about, you see a few shrines to Voltimeri with the massive lightning rod that raises up into the sky. And here you see a few other taverns. You see one as you pass by, it says Public House at World's Inn. You see another one nearby across the street called the Wary Traveler's Inn. As you're moving by here, and looking through between buildings and alleyway, you see horses sprinting by. You can see what looks like in the distance a racetrack.
This area might be a good place to find lodging, considering travel is kind of Voltimeri's thing.
Yeah,
one of them, anyway.
We'll look for specifically an inn that looks like it's big enough to have something to accommodate Ball.
Okay. Between the two, at the crossroads you're standing at, the Public House looks more like a bar saloon. The Wary Traveler's Inn looks like more of a quieter inn place. And it is 2 stories and takes up almost an entire block.
We will go there.
That might be where we should try.
You can see as you head towards it, it's a pretty large building. You can see the base of it is made of that white stone that much of the city is made of, though it has been ruined through the centuries and they've had to use other, you can tell the brick type has been changed as they had to supplement it to repair the building. Moving inside, you can first, the smell of food hits you. You smell rosemary and garlic. You can smell alcohol, though not stale beer. You smell sweet wines. Inside, you see a bar to the right where you see a number of people mixing and making drinks. A number of people sitting down, eating fairly quietly and just conversating. And you see a stairwell to the left with another front desk where it looks like there are possibly rooms above.
This is more like it.
Good eye, Ellory.
Well, let's go see about some rooms. And I guess we go over to the desk that's near the stairs.
Yeah, you see a front desk, and sitting behind it, kind of flipping through a small book, you see a human. He's kind of tall. He's maybe 6'1" or 2 as he puts the book down and stands up. He's in his maybe early 40s, mid-40s. He has thick eyebrows, a dark chocolate beard that's been well oiled. Though the rest of his features are fairly gruff-looking, you can see a small scar on his cheek and on his hands as he puts them onto the desk, leaning forward to get a good look at you. He's wearing a cloak of what looks like bear fur, and you can see sitting beside the stool where he was sitting a large wooden maul that he might use just in case he needs to.
Very good, sir.
Hey there, welcome to the Wary Traveler's Inn. What can I do for you?
We are world-weary travelers, finally reaching our place of destination, and we would like some temporary lodging.
World-weary, well, you've come to the right place. I got some lodges for you. 7 of you, 1 of you very large. Let's see here. And he flips through a ledger of some sort. All right, I have the rooms for you. A couple of you might have to bunk up, but I can get 5 rooms for you.
5 is perfect.
All right. That's 10 silver, comes with a free drink.
I will do that. 10 silver.
Or 1 gold. Alright, so the rooms are upstairs. I can show you to them. And he kind of leads you up the stairs, unlocks the room, shows them to you, leading you guys in there. You see inside fairly simple, but clean beds, sheets. So some of the rooms have windows kind of looking down to the outside of this district where he sets you guys up. Alright, and take these. And he passes out 7 little slips. Just say, wary traveler, there's a little drink symbol on the back. Send these to the bartender. She'll get you set up there. And we serve food, of course, as well. And if you have any questions, just let us know.
Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you very much.
And he nods and walks back downstairs, leaving you guys in your rooms that are mostly clustered together.
Get Kalvyn situated on something comfortable.
If y'all don't mind, I think I'm just gonna go lie down in the room.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You need it.
Thanks, guys.
And I look at Melly and say, maybe he needs some nursing.
I'm going to pretend like Kalvyn was already on his way and did not hear that.
Keep an eye on him just in case. That's rough.
She nods and agrees and says she'll watch out for him.
Before we go, I'm going to cast send into my father. Does anyone need me to send a message anywhere?
I think we should send a message to Orzana to let her know how things went. I guess you can't cast it enough to send it to all of our families, but
no,
you
but
could
I can figure out a message. Yeah, I'll ask him to tell everyone know that we're all safe.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So the first one I will send to Orzana. I haven't counted it out, so let's do this. We are safe in Nymunet. Sorry we left you behind. We'll come back for you. Take care. Kalvyn's fine.
You send this message off, connecting with Orzana. In a moment, you hear her voice in your whisper.
No, wait, I can't speak Elvish. Shit.
No, she knows a little bit of common now. Not much, but a little bit. Glad Kalvyn is, well, here by a bridge. Wait. Thank you.
She'll be in Briarbridge when we get back.
Yeah, she's been there for months already, so I'm sure she'll be fine.
She's got a job, place to stay, some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Be a worse place to leave her. And then I'm going to send to Varys this time. And say, I already counted this one out. Arrived in Nymunet. More beautiful than imagined. Tell everyone's families all is well. We're safe. Love you. Miss you. We'll talk again. You can reply.
You send this message out, and hear in a few moments Varys' voice. Love you. Proud of you. Can't wait to hear your stories when you get back. I'll let them all know. Be safe.
I'll let everyone know.
Thanks, Vesper.
Of course. So, do you want to look around this district, or should we head to the Redemption Zenith? Or does anyone else, Ezekiel, there's the grove outside Persintma. We could go there.
I can get to that. I have a feeling I'm going to need to be there for a while.
Was I hearing correctly? Did Mother Willow say something about the Vivus Tree being there?
She did. I didn't want to stop us then. We had too much to do, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go read its leaves somehow, and I don't really know what that means yet, but perhaps their keepers do.
I'd kind of like to see it. You mind if I go with you when you go?
Not at all.
I know that I want to see the Temple of Ultimary. I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot of questions when I get there. I wouldn't mind some company when I go, but I also don't want to make you have to sit through
a sermon.
Something like that.
If you need us there, we'll be there.
Thank you.
Do we want to do that now since we're there, or?
Yeah. Unless you want to go do your thing first.
I can wait.
I could say the same. Which is why I think we keep going over and over.
Well, we're already here, so...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see what we can find.
To the Temple of Ultimary.
So you guys ask around.
I think we're leaving Kalvyn and Melly, but other than that.
Oh no, Kalvyn.
Also, Michael dropped the call and he hasn't come back yet, so I don't know if that was a mistake or
okay,
what happened.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
but he hurts.
Okay. Yeah, he said he wanted to lie down, so I think he's out for now.
Oh, Michael and Kalvyn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, not Michael. I don't know. He just disappeared.
Okay. All right, so you guys head out, ask around, and get directions. Everyone in this district knows the direction to this place. You get pointed towards the main temple. As you travel along, you see a few other smaller establishments for supplies. You do, as you're moving, you see a cloister with that same old stone. You can see it's a square with a sort of open courtyard. You can kind of see through the middle where there are spires on each of the four corners. You can see inside the courtyard, you see people in simple linen clothes training. You can see them punching, kicking, twisting, putting their hands together and bowing as they spin on one foot and go through these various martial arts training motions. Continuing on, you eventually come to what people have directed you to it, called the Temple of the Odyssey. You can see a tall temple of white stone, slightly angled walls that almost curve and twist in a near spiral, very subtle. There's a large doorway in the center. The central door is maybe 20 feet by 20 feet. Inside you can see a number of columns that stretch up, leading to a stairs that move and glide up about 60 feet up. You can hear, as you move inside, you see numerous people in various clothes and cloaks and robes and armor. And inside you can hear and you can almost feel, as you walk into this temple, mist of water in waves hitting your face from the center of this temple.
Wow, that's a cool one.
I think Ellory doesn't even realize that she started grinning as soon as we walked in. Just trying to look around and see everything all at once.
You can see as you move further in, there's high ceilings, and the stairs are actually, as you get a better look, are in a circle, forming almost a dome of these steep stairs that rise up, creating a mound in the center with an open sky above. And from the center of that is where you hear the sort of sound, and with the water kind of washing, misting out from the center. You see a few people kind of standing on the top of this mound looking down into whatever is in there.
Wow. You know, it's funny. Every time that I've gone to the Temple of Ultimary back home, and here too, I guess, every time I've been afraid of something walking in. And every time I end up feeling something totally different. Something I don't really have words for. I'm looking around. I see the people up at the top of the stairs. Do I see anyone else around?
There's a few others that are coming and going. There's only 2 people at the top. The rest are kind of down here. Looks like alcoves that lead to the side and below, sort of shelters from this mist and wind. It's loud in here. You have to almost, not quite yell, but you have to speak up because of the sound of the thunder and the lightning and the wind and the sound of your clothes whipping back and forth.
Do I see any kind of artwork or symbolism?
Looking around at the walls leading up to the open ceiling that are slightly angled towards that open dome, you do see symbology all around the edges. It doesn't look carved or painted, though. It looks almost seared, as if struck by lightning, searing the stone itself into some of the symbology. You see towards the right side of the mural, you see what looks like a woman helmed, holding a spear, a javelin of lightning. Her bottom half almost cascades and forms with the waves as if she's one with them. As you see her in her other hand holding up a ship as she strikes with the javelin towards a serpent that's wrapped around it. On the other side, you see the visage of a storm. Not personified into any sort of humanoid figure with arms and legs, but just pure, raw symbology of a storm with clouds, and even the wind that seems to, these seared marks seem to almost shift with the sounds of the storm inside this temple. You can see lightning, the runes of the lightning that have been seared almost glow and shine and cascade down as the lightning strikes within the temple itself. These runes seared by lightning are reactive to the sound and the energy of the storm within this temple.
The sights in here are electrifying.
Hampson is struck by lightning. He's dead.
And that's why we keep you around.
Oh, thank you.
The last thing you notice too, the woman, Volta Mary's depiction, one of her eyes is missing. She has a eye patch over one of the eyes.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm not really sure what I want to do here. I mean, like I said, I'm going to have a lot of questions, but...
How about we find someone who knows a lot of things?
Yeah, though, I'm looking around. Do I see, like, any kind of place that seems like people are leaving or have left offerings?
Looking around, you don't see any sort of bowls or even any sort of real altars besides a few symbology on the walls. You see those alcoves that lead kind of almost below the temple a little bit, shelter from the storm. But this room is mostly empty except for the murals, the open ceiling, and then that mound of steps that lead to something.
Think we should go up there?
I'm sure we can check it out.
Okay. I'm going to start heading up.
Okay. Walking up these steps are oversized, as if they were built for creatures beyond medium humanoids. But they're still semi-walkable. You just have to stretch a bit. As you move up these steps, your hair stands on end as the electrifying energy rises in the air. The thunder gets louder. The lightning strikes brighter. As you see the two people standing on top, their faces lit by what you see as you come to the edge. There's a walkway up, a little platform circling this, and as you look down, you see a swirling of water and thunder and lightning spiraling like a whirlpool in the center of this mound. As you see the other two looking down into it, one of them briefly looks up towards you and then back towards the pool of storm.
I think I'm trying at first to kind of like smooth my hair back down before I give up on that.
Yeah. There's no controlling it here.
I think as soon as my hair starts to frizz, I'm going to stand back a little bit.
You are getting wet in this. There's no way to avoid it inside this, but you can avoid the static.
The things I do for love, Ellory.
As you're waiting there, you see the person who didn't look up at you, who's just been focused. You see a man in his 30s, looks half elven descent, sort of dark brownish hair, gruff face. He's holding tightly, squeezing onto a javelin as he's looking down. You see him kind of breathe in a couple times, deeply, look towards the other person, and then leap into the storm. He disappears instantly. There's a loud crack of thunder and lightning as he does so, and he's gone.
Whoa. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Excuse me, calling to the other person.
You see she turns towards you, an elf, of very dark tan skin, probably the tannest elf you've ever seen, even beyond wood elves, with dark hair and light hazel eyes, almost yellow. Kind of looks up and smiles. Hello.
Hello.
He's kind of smiling, wide-eyed, electric, eyes reflecting the storm below.
I kind of wave
Ellory
towards her a little
forward.
bit and walk towards her.
Well, you must be a pilgrim. Have you come to test the Odyssey?
I have to admit that I don't really know much of anything. My name is Ellory.
Kari. What is there to know? Do you feel?
Yes.
You feel the rumble of thunder when it roars, the excitement of the lightning as it strikes. Ultimately, that is her. Do not concern yourself with minor details. It is the feeling of faith that matters. And as the storm, she is always changing, just as we are.
Oh, what just happened here? The man who jumped in.
He is testing himself against the Odyssey, the storm, walking with Voltamari herself. We will see if he comes out. This is a remnant of her, ever present, even after she left.
Where did she go?
Like all the gods, beyond the gate. Their power still rolls across these lands. You see it here strong.
I've never seen anything like this.
Few have, but now you're one of them. Sky's thunder, the Odyssey, the wandering storm. This is her, how you experience it. You're hesitant. Why?
This might sound a little weird, but I've never had a lot of faith in faith, if that makes any sense.
How can you deny this?
She kind of gestures down at the storm swirling beneath you.
How can you deny this power that you see before you?
I can't.
Then trust in it. It is not my place to tell you where to go or what to do. But open your eyes and see.
I had so many questions and now I don't know what to ask.
You're not ready then.
I don't know if I am. I don't know what it takes to be ready.
Faith.
And with that, she lets herself fall backwards off the edge. Another crack of thunder and lightning as she falls backwards into the storm, smiling as she does before she disappears. Strangely, in contrast to the Solarium of light, there are not a large number of people moving around. The Solarium, you could hear hammers of craftsmen. You could see people repainting things and repairing pieces and crafting various things in the distance. You could hear the anvils and hammers. But here, there are not a lot of people that are standing around. You can see people that move into the alcoves and people who were near this storm. It's strange to see such a place of power mostly empty.
I look back at the others.
Do you need a push?
I think that would defeat the purpose. Okay. I'm going to take off my backpack and my cloak and hand them to somebody. I don't know if I am ready for this, but if I wait, I don't know if I ever will be.
I'm not sure there's such a thing as being ready. I think there's just a moment where you have to decide that even if you're not, you're going to jump.
You know, it's funny, Vesper. I always thought that I wasn't like you. You know, it always seemed like this whole faith thing came so easily to you. Maybe it's harder than I thought it was. Maybe it's not just me that it's hard for.
It's definitely not just you. And it doesn't come easy.
Well, wish me luck.
You don't need it.
Bring us back a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give Ellory one inspiration point thing die.
And I'm going to jump in.
Okay. You leap. Ellory, you immediately hear as you hear the swirling of the water crashing against your ears, tossing you this way and back like a rag doll. You're in no control. You try to open your eyes and immediately water rushes in at high pressure, blinding you as you hold them tight still. You can feel yourself being tossed this way and that, swirling in a spiral. You hear shaking first your body and then your heart. Make a wisdom save for me.
Okay. Definitely going to use my blue die for this. It's a 16.
Okay. You are falling head over ears. There's a moment where you no longer feel the water hitting you, not like it was before. Instead of waves, you feel rain. As you open your eyes now, you can see the rain falling, and you're falling with it. You can feel yourself passing through clouds, racking with thunder as you pass through them. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. 22.
Okay. You take 14 points of thunder damage as a cloud roars in thunder as you pass through it. Your ears are wet with a warm liquid as you're passing through, falling with the rain. As you pass through this cloud, you see below. Your eyes and vision shift as you realize you are miles above whatever surface you might not even be able to tell is below. As you're falling,
how many
cascading
points
head over
did you
heel.
say?
14. As you're end over end, you can see lightning racing down beside you, catching up before darting down. As the lightning bolt hits down, you can see the surface. Maybe a mile below, waves moving up like hands slamming into one another as you're falling about a mile above some sort of stormy sea. What does Ellory do? As you're trying to think of what to do and what can you do, lightning from above as you spin upside down, you see lightning bolts traveling towards you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That's not great. That's a 7.
As the lightning bolt slams into you, into your back, pushing you with more rapid pace, accelerating towards the storm below. You take 20 points of lightning damage as you're flying down. You can feel now the scarred, burnt skin on your back burning as you're flying head over heels towards the storm below.
I remember what she said about faith, and I grab the locket with Valtimary's holy symbol, and I don't really have words right now, but just the feeling of a prayer.
Okay. Make a wisdom check for me.
Okay.
As you're falling 500 feet, 400, 300, plummeting towards the ocean below.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You grab onto it and you feel something steal yourself inside. As scary and frightening and dangerous as this is, something about it feels like home. And as you're rushing towards it, you hear thunderous growling like mountains grinding against each other in the sky, and you can almost make out words. As you slam into the sea, everything goes dark. As you drift down, you can feel the...
And then silence.
That was her body splattering against the water.
I key lift.
Oh no!
So,
Eric's there.
Klaus is Skype froze, so we're gonna take a break and come back in 14 minutes.
Next time on Back to the Story. Oh God, Ellory, why? Why did you jump?
Why did we encourage her?
Next time on Back to the Story.
I'm a devoted follower of AA, and I have been my entire life. I came to bring these home.
She spoke to you. The cleansing tears of AI. Waystones divine anchors. The heavens, aegis, the sword scar, passion's birth, first lie.
For part 2 of this episode of Back to the Story, you can find it on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.